بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد وأهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. Now, we know that Dalil is divided into two sections or two parts, two types. Dalil al-Muhraz, which is secured, has two types. One of them is what? Qat'i. Exactly. Ad-Dalil al-Qat'i. Now, Dalil al-Qat'i, once you say Dalil Qat'i, immediately you say after that, what do you say? What does it mean? Qat'i, as a result of being Qat'i, definite, what happens? Hujjiyah. It becomes Hujjah. Hujjah, okay? Now, is this Hujjah maj'ul, established by the Shari', or this Hujjah is a spontaneous, automatic, and comes with the Qat' immediately? Spontaneous, not maj'ul. It's not has been given by the Shari'. Exactly. So let's finish with that one. Then we come to the second dalil. After the dalil al-qat'i, we come to the second one. So the hujjiyah of the dalil, which is qat'i, its hujjiyah is self-made, not made by the shara'. They call it dhatiyah. Dhatiyah, it means self-made. Self-made. While maj'ul is what? Established. By whom? Shara', law giver. That is the difference between A and B. Okay? Shara' cannot interfere in this. Why? Because God does not go against reason. God created reason. And He tells me, follow your reason. Now He wants to go against reason, He wouldn't go against reason. So the hujjiyah of the dalil, again I will say that, the hujjiyah of the dalil, the evidence that is definite, it's self-made. Shar' does not interfere in it. None of his business. This one is maj'ul by the shar'. Which one? What type of dalil? This is al-qat'i. The second dalil is what? Dhanni. Dalil al-dhanni, at face value, does it have authority? Does it have weight? Does it have hujjiyah or not?
May or may not, it depends.
May or may not. This is good diplomatic answer. He's right, but he doesn't know why he's right.
It has a revealing, it has a kashif to it, so it gives it.
If it is elevated to the,
Yeah,
to the level.
Exactly. Dalil al-dhanni is of two types. Dalil al-dhanni, this one. This one is of two types. One is the amara. Dalil al-dhanni is amara, sign, amara, okay? Amara, sign. It's amara. Amara dhanniya, it gives you speculation, not certainty. Speculation that maybe God wants me to do this, maybe not. I am speculating. Conjecture, dhan. Okay? But its value, its hujjiyah, is it dhatiyah, self-made? Huh? No. Because it's only when you reach the level of certainty, it becomes dhatiyah, self-made. The hujjiyah. Automatic, immediately. You don't wait for the shara' to tell you. Because this is the ruling of the aql, intellect. Intellect dictates that once you are certain, this certainty is going to hold you responsible. Or it's not going to hold you responsible. She says, well, this is not wajib. You don't do it. You are free from it. Certainty. When you reach certainty that I am sure that God does not want me to do this. Okay? But with the dalil al-dhanni, it's not enough. It does not have enough power. Therefore, as you said, it may yes, it may no. In one case, this is it may yes, that you said. When the amara is given, credibility by the shara, such as what? The example, typical example that we always mention. Trustworthy. Khabar al-thiqa. Khabar al-thiqa. Khabar al-thiqa has been given more weight. And it is treated like this one, qat'i. It is not qat'i, it is dhanni. It is dhanni. Dhanni. Okay? But Shara' says treat it. I know it is dhanni, but I want you to treat it like this. So it's given hujjiyah. Okay? And the hujjiyah of this, the value of it, the hujjiyah. See, I'm putting hujjiyah. The hujjiyah of this, the dalil, the evidence of the hujjiyah, the evidence that we use, listen to me and look at me, the evidence that I'm using to support this argument and say this one is hujjah, is that evidence qat'i or dhanni? Qat'i. Qat'i. Because it's dhanni, it would not help me. Like the one that he took him to co-sign, he himself is bankrupt. How can you bring someone to co-sign one? You bring someone who has credibility, who can sponsor you. You don't take someone who's bankrupt. So the dalil, the evidence that I'm going to use, and that evidence says khabar al-thiqa is hujjah. It gives credibility to it. That evidence, although this one is 50%, has value. But the dalil I am using for the hujjiyah has to have what? 100%. The dalil has to be qat'i. Because that dalil, Dr. Umid, that dalil I am using is going to sponsor this. So he has to have a credibility to sponsor. Otherwise, one bankrupt is sponsoring another bankrupt. Both, they don't work. We come to the second part. This is amara. We have another amara that is not powerful like this one.
Asl?
No. Still amara. Still, we have not reached asl. Another amara, another sign. This is a sign that has credibility. This is a sign that has credibility by shar'. This sign has no credibility. Has no credibility. Like what?
Shuhra?
Exactly. Like, they have different names. One of them is الشهرة الفتوائية أو الشهرة الروائية. Let me put them here. One of them is, see, I'm giving example of this. One of them, or let me put them here. الشهرة الفتوائية. Second is الشهرة الروائية. What is the difference between them? We have fatwa and we have riwayah. This one is fatwa is popular. The fatwa is popular among the jurists. You see, Sheikh Fulan says this. This is his opinion. Sheikh Fulan, Sayyid Fulan, Ayatollah Fulan, Mirza Fulan, whatever Fulan, they all say this fatwa. But that fatwa, though it is popular, though it is shuhra, mashhur, famous, but Sharia did not give hujjiyah to it. It's only popular as a fatwa, but when it comes to dalil, it has no base. It has no base. And The faqih always looks for what? For the base. You have to establish the base. You have to bring the evidence. Or the riwayah, the narration is very popular. Everyone says it. But when you go search for it, riwayah has no credibility. Yes, it is very popular. Every household, every person, every member who goes to the member, قال الإمام الصادق such. But when you investigate, doesn't have any base. How come this is? We have this example. We have. I don't want to say things on the camera now, but we do have. Sometimes the riwayah is so popular, they read it, they write it everywhere. When you go investigate, wow, it's not there. The shara' does not give hujjiyah to it. It's a sign, but not a credible sign. This is a credible sign. Why? Because the shara' gave it hujjiyah. Otherwise, if the shara' would withhold the hujjiyah, also this one is not credible. Because the aql says it should not be credible. This is one person. How do you guarantee that this person is not mistaken, is not confused? This one, the shara' said no. We don't give, though it is popular. This is amara, we call it amara. This is not aslhan, Dr. Ali. We have not reached to that. Now we are between the secured evidence, definite, amara, and then asl. This is in the middle. So this is a type of amara, but unlike that. Both are dalil dhanni. This one is dalil dhanni and this one is dalil dhanni. But this one dalil dhanni with credibility. This is dalil dhanni without credibility. Another example. The other example, الروايات المرسلة غير المسندة. I'll put the let me put it here. الرواية المرسلة. They call it mursala or غير المسندة. What does that mean? What does mursal mean?
San, yeah.
No.
Risala.
It is sent without an address, meaning he says قال الإمام الصادق, but where is the chain of narrators? Who connect this riwayah to Imam al-Sadiq? We don't know. We don't know. You need the connector. You need to look at the connector to examine the credibility of the connector. He just put قال الإمام, or maybe he put one name before, fulan, but who connected to the Imam? We need to see who connected to the Imam. This is mursala. غير المسندة. It has no isnad. What is isnad? Isnad, ahsan, sanad, chain of narrators, does not have. Again, shara' does not give hujjiyah to. This is amara. Why imara? Let me ask you, why imara? Why we call it then imara? Why we bother?
It has a potential to have a revelation.
Exactly. It has some element, though very small, 10%, that it is true. But we can't accept it unless it goes through examination process. So it is dalil dhanni. You develop some dhan. It could be 5% true, 10%, 20%. But there is a difference between 20% and between giving credibility to it. So you can depend on it. Becomes worthy of using it. That's the difference. Okay? This one. Another imara. Can you give me an example? If you give me an example, you get $100 gift from me tonight. Which is imara but does not have a credibility. Okay. Do you see this khabar al-thiqa? Huh? Dr. Ali, do you see this? Khabar al-thiqa? Just add to it غير, non-thiqa. Khabar, let me put it here. Number four. Khabar غير الثقة. Non-trustworthy. Also, it's a sign. Why we call it sign? Huh? Why we call it sign?
Could be.
Why we call it amara? Because he's not trustworthy.
Yeah, that could be true.
Maybe sometimes
Exact-
there is a probability.
Exactly. Does not mean if he's not trustworthy, everything he says is wrong. No. Even a liar sometimes speaks the truth, the liar. You know? So it brings maybe 1%. 2% possibility that the Prophet said this, the Imam said this. Although this guy is liar and non-trustworthy, but it has some dhan. Though the dhan is not 50%, not 60%, not 70%, but 2%. Of course. This is a sign. This is why we call it dalil dhanni. Dhanni, a sign. But a sign which has no credibility. Sharia cannot give it credibility. Sharia says, sorry, his reputation is bad, even if he speaks the truth sometimes. It's like someone who doesn't have credit. He's bankrupt. You can't trust someone who's completely bankrupt. No, sometimes you can trust him. Sometimes you can trust him. Sometimes he will, if he takes loan, he'll give it back. But because of the record, his history is bankrupt, people stay away from him. Does not mean that every time he cheats or steals. No, sometimes he isn't honest. But people look at the record. Okay? People look at his record. It is dalil dhanni. Now, our author is saying that when it comes to dalil al-qat'i, look at me, this is very sensitive, very delicate. We mentioned dalil al-qat'i. Does it have hujjiyah? Yes. How that hujjiyah is made? Automatic, self-made. Dalil al-dhanni, does it have hujjiyah? Yes and no. Yes, if the shara' gives to it, like this example, khabar al-thiq, shara' gives it. So it has hujjah. It is maj'ul, established, given by, not automatic. Or it might not have hujjiyah. Why? Because the shara' does not give hujjiyah to it. The shara' said, listen, I can't. This is a big responsibility. How can I give credibility to this? How can I give credibility to something that is popular but it is baseless? How? I can't. Not just because it's popular, I go with the wave with the people. No. قُلْ هَاتُوا بُرْهَانَكُمْ. You need something tangible. Or this one, riwayah, it could be right, but you need to show me. You need to show me the evidence. An fulan, sanad. You need to show me. I have to examine these names. Okay? Now, in case we come across a situation where there is no hujjiyah from the shara', do we say that thing has hujjiyah? Or we should say no, refrain, that it does not have hujjiyah until it is proven by the shara'. And proven with dalilun qat'i, with definite evidence. Which one? So automatically we cannot say, we don't assume that this has hujjiyah. So the asl, what is the asl? Which standard we use? Asl means a standard. Should I, in the case of doubt that this item has a credibility or does not have a credibility, which standard I should use? I should say, yeah, it has a credibility. I assume it has a credibility. Or I assume, no, it doesn't have until it's proven.
No, it doesn't.
Exactly. We will use this one day. I'll show you how we use it. You must establish the credibility. If you can't establish it with yaqeen, with certainty, then you assume that it does not have hujjiyah. Doesn't have hujjiyah. Okay? I'll give you an example so you can digest this with example. Let's take this one. Riwayah al-mursala. Riwayah mursala. Let's assume that remember maslak haqq al-ta'a? We had two maslak. One of them says haqq al-ta'a is strict. If you have a speculation about something that God wants that from you, you must do it or you must not do it. You must do it. Whereas that other maslak, other tradition, they say no. Unless I am certain. If I am not certain, I'm not going to do it. Zin? According to this one, the tougher one, haqq al-ta'a, that he has the right of obedience on you. So if you suspect that this is wajib or this is haram, you should act accordingly. Now, let's say there is a thought, an idea that when you see the lunar moon, the recitation of the dua is wajib. Wajib, okay? But then you get riwayah mursala. It has no sanad, freeloader, floating, without chain of narrators. That says it's not wajib.
So the reason why you thought it was wajib was based on what?
Based on haqq al-ta'a, which says, what does haqq al-ta'a says?
Right of obedience.
Not just right of obedience. Haqq al-ta'a says,
When in doubt, you do it.
exactly. Asalatul ishtighal. Ishtighal means ihtiyat. Haqq al-ta'a, first they resort first and foremost to where? Haqq al-ta'a, right of obedience. This is cool. Right of obedience. Their first and foremost reaction is the primacy of ihtiyat, caution. Or they call it ishtighal sometimes. Ishtighal or ihtiyat, similar, synonymous. Ishtighal means you are implicated. So if you want to free yourself, bring me an evidence to free yourself. You can't just walk free. You are implicated. The other one, قبح العقاب بلا بيان, no punishment. The other one, which is versus this, no punishment. What is their first reaction? Bara'a, exemption. Exemption. They differ. This one caution, this is exemption. So according to this, let's say according to this, there is some rumors in town that when you see the hilal, you must read the dua. Dua becomes wajib. Rumor, of course, rumor. If it is reality, then why do we say caution? We say mandatory. We say mandatory. Rumor. So we have to use this. But then on the other hand, there is a riwayah, this type. No chain of narrators, mursala, which says no. The Imam says you don't have to recite the dua. Which one goes first, this one or that one?
Which school of thought?
This is school of thought.
Oh, that's good. Then you go with caution.
The top one. Why we don't use this riwayah? Exactly. This riwayah does not have, although it is a sign, also a sign that could be right. There is a possibility. But this sign is weaker than this. That one overrides this. Because they tell me this sign has no credit. Though it is sign, but the sign غير معتبر, has no اعتبار, no credibility. Okay? Because you cannot get ilm from it, only dhann. Therefore you have to stay on this. لا يفيد العلم. رواية المرسلة لا تفيد العلم. Does not develop ilm. Yes, if it develops ilm, then definitely this one overrides that one. But this one, Sharia said, Sharia said, no, use this one. If the clash is between this and that, definitely we use this. Because this has a credibility, hujjiyah. That one does not have hujjiyah. These ones do not have hujjiyah. Because this one, according to this school, they say once you speculate, even a speculation, ihtimal, that this is what God wants you to do, it becomes munajjaz, binding, munajjaz, even if the ihtimal is small. Until something stronger comes, not this one, stronger remove. Either it says yes, you must do it, or no, you can't do it. When this one, those guys, they say even when there is ihtimal, then it becomes munajjas on you, not mu'adhar, cannot set you free. Means obligation, not without obligation, with obligation.
So say the credible imara has more significance than the right of obedience.
The imara,
The
no,
hajj,
don't look at right of obedience, look at this.
the caution one.
Yeah, imara, which has a credibility, not imara without credibility.
Right.
Overrides this, definitely. Because this is asl. This one and that one asl. Number 3. This is number 2.
Yeah.
This is number 2.
Okay, because the first one you said right of obedience versus, let's say, riwayah al-mursila.
No. Right of and the right. See, this is a school of thought.
Right.
This is a school of thought. This is an action. This is an action. Don't get mixed between them. This school of thought says my reaction to something that it is in the level of rumors, ihtimal, I have to use caution. This school of thought says when there are rumors, I don't care about them. You have to bring me something credible. So my reaction to it is exemption, bara'a. I don't do it. Are you with me? These are schools of thoughts. Don't get mixed. These are action or reactions. These are reactions. Asal amali. What shall I do? This one says, first and foremost, go to the caution. If you can find someone to free you from caution, then this is secondary. This is a primary for them. For them, this is a primary, this is secondary. For those, this is a primary, that one is secondary.
Okay, but the situation that something that's an imara, that's credible, that has possible hujjiyah.
Yeah, definitely. The imara always, we mentioned, when we have conflict between amara and asl, amara comes first.
Right.
Why? There is a reason. If you remember the reason, it means you are very intelligent.
Also, it has no revelation.
Exactly, Ali, exactly. Good job. Because amara, though it is lower than dalil, dalil has a powerful power of revelation. To remove the curtain, you see what is in God's book. Dalil. Amara does not have that much strength, but it does have some strength. Okay? 50% chance that this is matches. While asl, it might not have any chance. Sharia is putting this asl for you just to save you from water, get you out, you don't drown. That's it. But not necessarily, see?
Just a way of life.
Evidence is when you pick someone is drowning, you do two things to him. You pick him from water and you get him to somewhere safe. Asl, you just pick him from the water. You are not responsible to get him somewhere safe.
Right.
Therefore, the imara is stronger than the asl. Because it has some element of revelation, it has. While asl not necessarily has element. They created asl to get you out of the problem. Not necessarily. It could match the waqi', but not necessarily. Not necessarily. It may not. Because you may ask, then why they created the asl? Because we have no other option. We could not. I am in a situation, I don't know this is halal or haram. I don't know this is wajib or mustahab. I could not find in the dalil nothing, in the imara nothing. So I have to get myself, either I drink this or I don't drink it. I sign this contract or I don't sign it. We come to this. That will give me. So if I follow this tradition, those are going to tell me caution. Yes, you search, you could not find anything. You tell them why. Why? They say, unless Sharia gives you permission. If no clue in Sharia, you stick to this because this is what the brain tells you, reason tells you. That one says, listen, exemption because this is what the brain tells you. Unless you find in Sharia an answer. If you find in Sharia, you leave this. So the first reaction is this, what? Both of them are aqli, huh? Both of them are aqli. So this can be override by Shari'i ruling. This one can be override by Shari'i, if we find. But if you don't find, you stick with the aqli ruling. What aql tells you.
Say, is the exemption aqli or is it more?
No, both. When we studied the comparison between these, we said hukmul aql. Aql says, this is how we discussed it.
But how could the
Dr. Ali.
could have 280 degrees?
No. No, of course, of course. Aql is your result. The result of what you get, of course. Now we have two aql. One of them said God exists, the other said God does not exist. Definitely. Who said aql is always right? Nobody. Nobody said all the uqala, all people who have reason, they are unanimous over one issue. No. Both are uqala, but both reach different. They reach different conclusion. Okay? And this is why if you use your aql while your aql was sound, not sick or intoxicated, and you did not meet the target, God is going to forgive you. Because you tell him, this is to the best of my reason. What can I do if my reason failed me? I was honest. I used my reason was sound. I did not intoxicate my reason. I kept it sound. I thought about it. I reached this. And this is what Imam Ali says as a hadith. When you give a judgment, if there is no religious verdict in it, you can't find dalil, then you use your brain. If you use your brain to the best of your ability and you did not contaminate your brain and the ruling was wrong, Allah is not going to hold you responsible. So both are using aql. This one says, the argument is interesting. It says, yes, I know God would not punish unless he sends you a messenger. But this applies to the people here. I cannot punish my servant if I tell him, go to the market, bring me a sandwich, falafel. Then when he comes with the falafel, I tell him, where's the Pepsi? He tell me, sir, you sent falafel sandwich. I tell him, you don't know I don't eat falafel unless with a drink Pepsi? He says, sir, with the servant, I might not be able to charge him. I tell him, yes, you are right. I did not clarify myself. And because I did not clarify myself, you don't deserve punishment. But they say when you take this case to God, it's not like us. God, you have to expect. You have to satisfy him. God is different than us. I am a boss and God is a boss. Let's say. I am different than God. I can't compare myself to God. My servant, if I don't clarify myself to him and he comes without my expectations, I can't charge him. But God is different. They say you have to use extreme caution, extremist caution with God. This is those which is popular. Those are more, Those are 80%. Those are 20%. They say no. Same argument applies to God.
I think God's merciful too.
Yeah, this is what they say. God does not overburden you. Everything I caution, don't do, don't. Then how can I go about my life? God, if he really wants something, he would not confuse me. He would tell me. This is what they say. This is Mirza Naini and others, and Behbahani and others. This is fairly new. Okay? So, let's erase this and we go to another subject. So we said that according to this school, my friends, if dua is there is some possibility or rumors that we must read the dua, and there is a riwayah that says no, you don't have. The riwayah does not have enough credibility to override this. Though both of them are dhanni. This one is dhanni and that one is dhanni. But the element in this are heavier than that one.
So when someone would rely...
Because Sharia gave credibility to this, by the way. Gave hujjiyah to this, but it did not give hujjiyah to that.
How did Sharia give hujjah to that?
Because do we create them ourselves? These have roots in the hadith. These have roots. This one has roots in the hadith. This one, أصالة كل شيء لك طاهر حتى تعلم كل شيء لك halal. This one also has roots. They don't bring it from their pocket. They find, that ihtiyat. Also they bring. We will advance in studies. We will find the hadith that says, whoever circulates around the well, suddenly, this is a proverb or hadith, one day he would fall in it. So what do they understand or extract from this? That you have to use caution. Sometimes when you don't know, it's better to be on the safe side. Don't take chances. And then they give an example. If someone says, you go into upstairs, there are 3 classrooms. In one of the bottles, there is a drop of poison. And when you come, you see this bottle, that bottle, that bottle. 50 bottles. One of them has a drop of poison. Would you dare to drink? Although 50 bottles, you would say, no, I don't take, this is poison, it's going to kill me. Even if I die thirsty, I'm not going to drink. Same thing applies to religious rules. You have to, be cautious. Okay, let's go to the second subject today, which is, half of it is mantiq, logic. Half of it is about logic. And that one is الدلالات الوضعية اللفظية. Dalalat is significations that are verbal significations. We have 3. Number 1 is called الدلالة المطابقية. Number 2 الدلالة التضمنية. Number 3 الدلالة الالتزامية. دلالة المطابقية, what does it mean? It means that the lafz, when you say something, matches the meaning. Okay? Matches the meaning exactly. Matches the meaning exactly. So when I say, that this is an eraser, I refer to something tangible. All of it is eraser. There is no room to hide something. This is eraser. This is iPhone. Okay? The verb matches the what? The meaning. The verb or the word, not the verb. Word matches meaning completely. دلالة المطابقية. So مطابقية is what? Conformity. مطابق, matches, conformity, identification, identical. The word is identical with the meaning. Okay? Identical. Sameness. Call it sameness. مطابقية, sameness. The word is exactly the meaning. No more, no less. I say this is a book. It's a book. No more. I did not say this is library. This is, papers. This is cover. I said this is a book. مطابق, matches. We come to the second one. Second one, تضمن means imply. Imply. What does it mean? Let's come to the example of book. The book has what? The book has what? Has cover, has paper, has ink, okay? Pages. Sometimes I refer to the pages, these pages, as book. Not the entire book. Pages. Okay? I call it book. Kitab. Which is correct. Sometimes I refer to the cover, both cover, as a book. Okay? So the meaning, the word does not include all the meaning. See, this is all the meaning. The word matches all the meaning. This one, part of the meaning. Part. Another example, my sweeties. I say class. What do I mean by classroom? Classroom has many parts. Look at me, Nadine.
Yes.
Dr. Ali. Classroom has board, has marker, has a desk, these seats, and students. We call them a class. Sometimes I refer to the students, I say my class. I don't mean the entire room, I mean my students, which they are part of the class. But I still call them a class. So part of the meaning. تضمن implies. Okay? I say, my class today are going with me for dinner. Do I mean this one? No, this is not going with me. This one? No. This one? No. Those. Part of the class. I can call them a class. Okay? Part of the meaning. This is تضمن. What does this mean? Iltizam means connotation. Translation. Connotation. Or sometimes we call it metaphor. Metaphor.
It means قرينة.
قرينة منفصلة متصلة, yes. But iltizam means whenever I say the word, sometimes specific meaning comes to it. Like what? An example of that.
Lion.
Lion is brave. Brave person. Or I say Hatem. Hatem means what? Generous. Fulan is Hatem in his. The Arab, they use this. Believe me. Hatem, because Hatem al-Ta'i was the most generous. So whenever they want to give an example, parable of someone generous, they say, wow, he's Hatem. He's Hatem. But his name is not Hatem, his name is Ali. But they mean the metaphor, connotation. It connotes the meaning of generosity. Not real meaning. So, see, this is sameness. This is sameness. But this is metaphor, iltizam. Okay? Now, here, Dalil al-Muhraz. Let me ask you this question and I end here because what will come after it needs good elaboration. We are coming to the end. Just one question. When we have secured evidence, how much powerful is that evidence? Can it prove the thing and the opposite of that thing too? Such as what? Such as what? I'll give you an example. I say, this is Dalil Muhraz. I'll give you an example, just example. speed limit on this highway is 65. Maximum speed limit is 65. What is the simple meaning of it? That gives the whole meaning is what?
You cannot go over.
You can go up to 65, maximum. You can go lower than 65. But when I say maximum speed, it says you can go up to 65. What is the metaphor of it? Is that if you go over 65, you will be found guilty. That's the meaning of it. That's the iltizam. That's the metaphor. But I'm not saying the whole sentence, I'm saying part of it. But with this part, I can prove the opposite too. Okay? Or I say, this salat is wajib. Salatul Fajr wajib. What does it mean, the opposite of it?
If you don't pray, you're...
If you don't pray, you are guilty, because this is wajib. But I never said if you don't pray, you are guilty. They say, yes, you don't say it, but we can get it from here. The rest of the sentence, we can continue it.
Why we couldn't say it's implied that
No, they say tadammun. Implying is part of the thing. This is whole. This is again whole, but a metaphor. So now we are asking how far dalil al-muhraz, when we get it, it can go. It proves the case, we know. It will prove the case. It says this case is wajib, this case is haram, this case is mustahab. But does it prove the opposite of it too?
Yes.
And you can say it with the same strength, the opposite, or less strength.
Same thing.
I'll give you an example. Someone comes, walks in, not someone. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 people, 20 people, trustworthy. They say, God forbids, God forbids. Someone today was burnt and he turned into ashes. So this is dalal al-mutabiqi. And those are credible, trustworthy, honest, they don't lie. All of them are saying, we saw Fulan, he burnt in a car accident, he turned into faham, charcoal or ashes. Can I, of course I will accept what they say, 100%, because this is dalil muhraz qat'i. Can I add to it and say he is dead? They didn't say he's dead. They said he turned into ashes.
But how is that the opposite thing?
This is the opposite.
What's the
No,
opposite?
not necessarily the opposite.
Oh,
The metaphor of it.
I see.
It connotation of it. They didn't say it. Imagine I'm saying in another word, he turned ashes. Can I say in another word, he's dead? Can I say that? Don't just say it. This is debatable among the scholars.
Well, your example is yes, but
Yeah, exactly. They say if the dalil is qat'i, then you can say this one. You can say he turned in, he's dead. With same certainty, with the same power. But if the evidence is not qat'i, like khabar al-thiqa, you can still say,
I thought but it's mutawatir, so it should be.
khabar al-thiqa not mutawatir.
You said 10 people came into the.
Yeah, I'm giving another example.
Oh.
If the dalil is dhanni, that dalil was qat'i, mutawatir was qat'i. But if the dalil is dhanni, can I also, one person came, he said someone unfortunately was in a car accident and he burnt and he was an ash. Can I add? He didn't say he died. Can I depend on him and use the same method that I used earlier when 20 people came? Or not? Here, the power decrease, not increase, decrease, shrinks. This is a debate of next week, inshallah. وصلى الله وسلم على سيدنا محمد وأهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين. Okay.